There's a moment most people know. You're in a room. You know what you're supposed to say. You've rehearsed it. In the car, in the shower, at 2 in the morning for a week. And the moment comes, and you don't say it. You go quiet. Somebody else fills the silence. You drive home replaying it, furious with yourself, promising that next time will be different. The Bible has a word for that exact moment. It appears one time in the entire New Testament, and it's sitting in a verse you've almost certainly had quoted at you. God has not given us a spirit of fear. Now, if you struggle with anxiety, that verse has probably done you damage, because the math looks obvious. God doesn't give a spirit of fear. I am afraid. So something must be wrong with me. And now you're anxious and guilty about being anxious. I want to show you why that reading is not just harsh. It's a mistranslation of what Paul actually wrote. The word in that verse is not the word for fear. But to see it, you need to be in the room where the letter was written. Because this is not a proverb, it's mail. Rome, a stone cell. An old man is dictating a letter, and he knows it's his last one. In the same letter, he says the time of his departure has come, that he has finished the race. He asks for his cloak. It's getting cold. He mentions, almost in passing, that nearly everyone has left him. Paul is writing on death row. And the letter is going to a young man named Timothy, hundreds of miles away in Ephesus, who is about to inherit all of it. Timothy is young enough that Paul once had to tell a whole church not to look down on him for it. He's sick often enough that Paul tells him to take something for his stomach. He's leading a hard church in a hostile city, and now his mentor, the man who taught him everything, is about to be executed and is writing to say, "It's yours now." Picture the young man reading that. That's who this verse was written for. Not a coward, somebody scared, alone, and holding something far too heavy. And here's the word Paul chose, not phobos. Phobos is the ordinary Greek word for fear. It's where we get phobia, and it shows up around 160 times in the New Testament. Paul had it available. He didn't use it. He used Deilia. Deilia doesn't mean being afraid. It means shrinking back. It's that moment in the room, the words you didn't say, the hand you didn't raise, the message you typed and deleted, the call you didn't make because you decided you weren't the right person to make it. Deilia isn't the fear, it's what fear talks you into. So read the verse with Paul's actual word in it. God has not given us a spirit of shrinking back, but of power and love and a sound mind. Feel the difference? The verse never accused you of being afraid. It couldn't. The entire Bible assumes God's people will be afraid. That's why "do not fear" has to keep being repeated. You don't repeat a command to people who don't need it. This verse is not about the feeling, it's about the going quiet. Which means, if you woke up this morning with your chest tight and your mind already sprinting, you have not failed this verse. Nothing is broken in your faith. You can be afraid all day and still not have a spirit of Deilia. Quick note before we keep going. If you've ever read a verse your whole life and wondered what's underneath the English, that's every video on this channel. One verse, one word, what it actually says. Subscribing means you won't miss the next one. Now, Paul doesn't stop at what God hasn't given. He names 3 things God has, and each one is aimed at something specific that fear does to a person, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 3 things, and they're not a nice list. Each one is aimed at something specific that shrinking back does to you. First, power. Dynamis. You'll hear people say this is where we get dynamite. True, but it sends you the wrong way. Dynamis isn't an explosion. its capacity, the ability to actually do the thing. Go back to that room, the moment you knew what to say and couldn't make your mouth work. That gap between knowing and doing is exactly where Deilia lives. Dynamis is what closes it, not the removal of fear, the ability to move while it's still there. And notice, Paul says God gave it, past tense. It isn't a personality you were born with or without. Some people go their whole lives believing they're just not a brave person. Paul is telling a frightened young pastor, this was handed to you. Second, love, agape. This one looks out of place in a list about fear, until you notice what fear actually does to you. Think about the last genuinely frightening stretch of your life. A diagnosis, a layoff, something at 2 a.m. you couldn't fix. How much attention did you have left over for anyone else? That's not a character flaw. That's what threat does to human attention. It pulls everything inward. Your safety, your reputation, your survival. Fear makes your world exactly the size of yourself. Agape moves the other direction. It's love that goes outward, whether or not anything comes back. So the antidote Paul offers isn't stop being afraid. It's stay facing outward while you're afraid. Keep noticing people. That is something a terrified person can genuinely do, and it's the exact reversal of what fear was doing to you. And then the third one, which is honestly the one I'd want most at 3 a.m. The King James calls it a sound mind. Others say self-discipline or self-control. The Greek is Sophronismos, and like Deilia, this word appears exactly once in the entire New Testament. 2 words, each used one single time, sitting in the same sentence, pointed at each other. Here's what Sophronismos means in practice. You know how a problem at 3 a.m. looks completely unsolvable? Your life is over. The relationship is finished. You're going to lose everything. And then you wake up at 9, drink some coffee, and the same problem is a problem. Annoying. Manageable. You'll make a phone call. Nothing changed overnight except your mind came back. That's what fear does that nobody warns you about. It doesn't just make you feel bad. It takes your judgment. It narrows every option down to fight or run. It makes you reactive. It convinces you that the worst version of the story is the true one. Sophronismos is the 9 a.m. mind. Steady, sober, able to weigh things. And Paul's claim is that it isn't luck or sleep or caffeine, it's given. So look at the 3 of them against what shrinking back actually does. Deilia freezes you in the room. Dynamis is the capacity to speak anyway. Deilia pulls you inward. Agape turns you back toward people. Deilia hands you the 3 a.m. version of your life. Sophronismos gives you back your judgment. And remember who's writing this, not a man whose situation worked out. Paul is in a cell. The trial is coming. He's asked for his cloak because he's cold, and he doesn't expect to be warm again. From there, he tells a scared young man, God gave you power and love and a steady mind. He's not claiming those things get you out of the fire. He's claiming they hold while you're in it. So here's 2 Timothy 1:7, the way it was actually written. Not an accusation, not a verse to lie awake feeling guilty under. It's a letter from a dying man to a young man who is scared. And it says, the shrinking back, the going quiet, the staying small, the words you swallow in the room, that isn't from God, and it isn't who you are. What you were given was the capacity to move, a love that keeps facing outward, and a mind that steadies. You are allowed to be afraid. You were never given a spirit that has to shrink. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.